Hey guys, I just did a video about sourcing products in the U.S. And ideally even sourcing products locally. You should definitely check that video out. It's on my channel. Uh, I don't have a link at hand, uh, but it's worth looking for on my channel. But in this video, I want to talk to you about trade shows. I have been a trade show junkie for my entire life. I remember going to my first trade shows with my dad when I was, 9 or 10 years old, and I've always found them to be fascinating. I go to trade shows that involve things I have absolutely no interest in, just because I like to learn. I'm just constantly turning over rocks, trying to learn about new things, not for any particular reason, but just because I like to learn about things. So, as an Amazon seller, I've made videos about going to Canton Fair typically twice a year now for about 15 years. Uh, I do ASD Market Week. I've done the International Home Furnishing Show, again, being from North Carolina. The International Home Furnishing Show, or what we call the Furniture Market here, has been in High Point since before I was born. They're kind of splitting it now. That show, that market event, was bought out about 15 years ago, and they immediately started uh, splitting it between High Point and Las Vegas. And now there's a similar market event that takes place in Canton during the month of April and the month of October, when the Canton Fair is in motion, and it's directly across the street from the Canton Fair facility. So I also do that when I'm in China. Uh, I find trade shows really interesting, and that is a good quality to have, or a good characteristic to have when you're also selling on Amazon. You find products that you outside that trade show you might never have encountered. So I would encourage all of you to visit trade shows. Uh, for those of you that aren't up to getting on a plane and flying for 16 hours to China, uh, that's fine. That's understandable. I do think that should be a goal of yours if you're going to sell on Amazon or sell in. If you want to do major sales, when all this tariff mess is over, China is still going to be our largest manufacturer of retail consumer products for the United States market. Uh, that's not going to change in any of our lifetimes. If you're watching this right now, trust me, you, for the rest of your life, will be buying products made in China, and probably your kids and your grandkids will be buying products made in China. So once the tariff issues are resolved and it blows over, I would encourage you to set Canton Fair as one of your professional goals. I think you need to see it, and I think that you'll be amazed at how it can catapult your revenue on Amazon. But with that said, don't overlook in the near time. Don't overlook regional trade shows in your area. Usually, you can go and Google. Almost every state has not one or two, but multiple trade shows throughout the year. Go to trade shows that are selling things that you don't even care about. And I'll give you a wild example. Go to trade shows that are selling franchises. There's a trade show that comes to North Carolina every year, and I make sure I'm there because while I'm not looking to buy a franchise, I am looking to supply on a business-to-business basis things that franchise owners might very well need. I have no problem making a quick $100,000 selling commercial kitchen equipment to somebody who's opening a sandwich shop. I have no problem selling commercial restaurant tools of any type. You will see markets. If you look beyond the surface, you may not care about the franchise, but look at all the things that goes into a franchise operation, whether it's a restaurant, some type of service business. If a franchise is successful and they're opening 100 places a year, you may very well supply all 100 locations with something that they need. And that is a huge opening for anyone who's looking to sell products, whether you're looking to sell, again, restaurant equipment, clothing, uniforms, you name it. Trade shows of any type can usually open your eyes to opportunities that you might not have otherwise seen. So I encourage you to go to trade shows. Beyond that, I want you to think about trade shows a little bit differently also. If you go to a trade show and there is a representative or a company there with products that you would like to sell, and they, for whatever reason, maybe you can't meet their minimum order quantity, maybe they don't want to supply you since you're selling online. There are any number of reasons why they may not want to engage with you as a vendor. But with that said, it doesn't hurt, especially if it's a smaller company, to ask some probing questions. Don't just take no for an answer and walk away. But if they're actually producing a product, you might want to ask them, maybe in a roundabout way, but you might want to ask them, well, what goes into your products? What parts? What pieces? What tools do you use to manufacture your products? And you may very well find that while they may not supply you with whatever product that they're producing, you might be able to supply them with the tools that they need to produce that product. You can twist yourself up in knots about this, but I have taken students to trade shows, and when we kind of go our separate ways during the course of the show, and then we meet up for lunch, we meet up for dinner, and we're talking about the opportunities that we encountered that day. It's really interesting to see that there will be some people in the group that say, well, they didn't see anything that was useful to them. They didn't see any products that they could buy. They saw some that they liked, but they didn't see any that the distributor was willing to sell to them. And then you've got others that are like, oh my gosh, I saw hundreds of opportunities. I saw many openings for me to do business, either as a seller of products or as a supplier to the seller. So understand, there are things go both ways. It's a two-way street. You can sell to them, they can supply you. There are a lot of opportunities there. So my goal is always to make you aware of those opportunities, to give you the tools to think about things in a way that you probably are not accustomed to using, or different ways to think that you're not accustomed to thinking, because it's just, we go through our daily lives. We go to work, we go to school, we go home, we have dinner, but when you've been looking at business and companies and kind of tearing them apart down to the molecular level for as long as I have, you realize that even what appears to be a black and white situation, a go, no go, yes, we will sell to you, no, we won't sell to you situation, actually has many shades of gray. And in that gray lies opportunity. And you have to learn how to leverage your assets and your skills and your abilities and your observational skills in order to get your foot in the door and get the business. Again, the business may not come in the form you're expecting. You may end up selling them something. That's fine. You make money off of that. Or you may end up selling products that they produce. That's fine too. You make money off of that. Both those scenarios end up at the same place. You make money. That's what we're after. That's why we do this. I have fun doing it. I hope you do too. But at the end of the day, it's what's in our bank account that matters. So hit like and subscribe. I went on long enough, but hit like and subscribe. It helps the channel. And if you have any questions, leave them down below. And we'll see you in the next video.